The 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV is a brand new compact SUV electric vehicle that is about as normal as you can get for an EV. Let's take a closer look. Looking at the car from the front, it looks much like an Equinox, but there are some clear and obvious differences, of course. There's basically no grille aside from this little slot right here, and this is an interesting carbon fiber pattern right here. You've also got some lights here, but then some more lights down low right here, and also a camera here in the center just beneath your bow tie. It's also got this really interesting lower bumper section right here. And I really do like this little gloss black bit at the end. I think that's a nice touch. Yeah, it's generally sharp, and I think that this is a really interesting pattern baked into the front bumper right here as well. And it's also got this really nice, like, rounded, sculpted hood too, with these nice sharp creases and one up the center as well. There's not an engine under here, but I still want to show you what's underneath the hood. Check it out. Raw actual electronics here. This is the front wheel drive version of the Equinox. This is an Equinox LT with front wheel drive. So we've got all this motor here. We don't have a frunk, but it's so interesting to see not some plastic shroud over here, but actual, raw electronics. But because electric motors are so much smaller and more compact, you can so easily see 12-volt battery here, some other equipment over here, and look at this beefy engine mount that's super easy to see, and the subframe right down here. It's really cool. And then right down to the floor down here. So I love just how much more exposed everything is and how much more space you have. Oh, and look, tucked way back there, there's your ABS pump right there. So anti-lock brakes is handled by that guy back there. So yeah, really nice, really interesting to see this electric motor under the hood and all the components that go with it. Oh, and windshield washer is really easy to get to right here by the driver's side. Love it. Looking at the car in profile, here you can see that we've got this nice bright blue paint, and it's two-tone. We've got a white roof up there, and you can also see the low rolling resistant tires and wheels even from back here. And in profile you can tell that it's got a pretty swoopy but still somewhat typical two-box shape. I do like some details like this chrome strip that runs along the front and rear door right here. I think that's a nice touch. I really like that the side view mirror goes with the A-pillar here for the two-tone white roof right here, but then you got more polished metal for the roof rack right there, shark fin antenna in back, and then for the window trim you got black up top but this chrome piece down below. And check it out, all the door handles are power retracting and opening like that. If I lock the car, they all go in like that, and all four doors went in like that, and they're now flush with the doors right there. I do think that this is a nice Equinox EV logo right there as well, and very handy that the fuel door is right there on the driver's side. All easy. I will go ahead and put the dimensions up on the screen right now for you to check out, and let you know that I have a lot more information in the description. You get 19-inch low rolling resistant Michelin tires and a pretty darn efficient looking wheel as well. The gaps are very small here, and there's a lot of just interesting motion baked into the design. But you can see this is more sidewall than you're used to these days. So actually don't mind that. That gives you just a little bit more inherent cushion from the tire. We are running a 55 series tire right here, and I think that is nice to see. And yes, this is a square setup. The wheels and tires in back are the same size as what's in front. Looking at the car from the back, this is a definitely more textured, interesting shape. This is definitely less typical two-box SUV. Here you can see we've got this interesting roof-mounted spoiler right here, pretty steep rake for the rear windshield right here, and then another kind of like deck lid extension right here, and then it drops straight down. But then we've got this interesting light bar that goes across just above another version of this Equinox logo. And if you look really closely, it's just this interesting 3 blue bars, but then there's a little piece of chrome right there on the edges. interesting stuff. But then as you go lower, you get this black bumper again, and again, there's texture in it. It's not just a black piece. Then it matches the front with silver and a more gloss black. And it reveals a decent amount of cargo space as well. And there it is, a nice low loading floor, nice flat storage space. You got hooks on either side and rings down low to help hold things in place. You do have a 12-volt power port right there, and you have a nice little cubby right here. Pull on this strap, there is another lower storage space right here, and room for your charge port and a tow hook. And that's probably a tire refill kit right here, no spare. I will go ahead and put the cargo space behind the second row up on the screen right now so you can see that. But I can tell you it's a nice, wide, flat, easy to use space. And if you need more cargo space and only have to carry you and a passenger, that is easy to do. Pull a couple levers and you have a lot more cargo space. It's not entirely flat once you get to the second row, but it's still a nice and wide space. I'll go ahead and put that cargo space up on the screen so you can see that. But it looks healthy. For a compact SUV, this is definitely healthy. All right, let's check out the second row. Because this is just a 2-row SUV, we've got plenty of legroom. The front seat is currently set to be comfortable for me, and I have gobs of space. I am 5 feet 11 inches or 181 centimeters tall, and you can see that I have several inches of knee room right here. However, the seat bottoms are a little lower than ideal, so the thigh support is only so-so, but I still definitely have less than a 90-degree bend in my knees. I do also have headroom. We don't have any moonroof or anything like that, and we do have a couple of USB Type-C ports back here and a small storage space below that. And as long as you don't have 3 passengers back here, we do get an armrest with cup holders. So yeah, I could do a road trip back here without too much trouble. All right, to the front. Some interesting design choices here as well. So we've got this big speaker grill right here, pretty typical controls right here, lock, unlock, but look at this almost like 50s rocket kind of like air vents right here, and there's one on the other side over there, and that coincides well with this interesting like bluish polished metal right there. Adds a little bit of character to this interior, which I really enjoy. We do get the pretty basic seat adjustments right there, but it is power and it does include lumbar right there. That's nice. We do also have tilt and telescope. It is manually adjusted right here. And to the left of the steering wheel, we do have a couple of buttons, including your electric parking brake and liftgate. We do have 2-tier storage for the center console, up top with the cup holders and secondary down low, and that includes another 12-volt port. There it is. The car does not have an on-off switch. When you sit inside it with the key, it's going to wake up right away. So that's what just happened there. The steering wheel itself is a nice thick rim and nice leather on it as well. We do have several controls to the right and to the left, and we do have this paddle right here which adjusts the off accelerator deceleration you get. Right here we do have an 11-inch digital instrument cluster and a 17.7-inch center display right here. That is a massive, massive display. Because there's no on-off switch, what I have to do is put my foot on the brake. So I'm still in park, but now everything lights up. So there is my 11-inch digital instrument cluster all lit up, and there is the 17.7-inch center display lit up, and you can see we are in downtown Detroit right now. This is a big screen and it's got a lot of adjustments right here. So I showed you this paddle right here. This button right here also turns on and off one pedal driving, and you can set the level right here on the screen, off, normal, high. You also have headlight adjustments right here. There's a way to look at all the different controls and safety you have right here, and you can turn the vehicle off with the touch of a button right here. That's interesting. So turn it back on, foot's back on the brake. The Chevrolet Equinox has, among other things, Google Assistant and Google Maps. That's really nice and it works really well. But as you can see, it's also got a ton of other stuff. The one thing I want to look at, charging. You have this screen right here to show you if you were charging right now, when it would be ready, things like that. You can tell it to charge later. You can tell it to precondition. You want the vehicle to be ready at a certain time. You can tell it ahead of time. It won't start charging until it knows it needs to finish by this time. You also have climate control adjustments right here, heated seats just below that, and some more controls for the climate right here. This dial right here does temperature. This one does fan speed, but you can also use the touchscreen directly for that. Beneath that, we have this nice little tray right here, and it goes deeper than it looks at first. We have 2 USB Type-C ports right here, nice little tray right here, looks good smartphone size, and a couple of nice and deep cup holders next to that. Past that, we do have lower center console storage. It's not super wide, but it is pretty darn deep, and you have this nice little removable tray right here. Looking up, rear view mirror and a couple of lights, and that's it. Like I mentioned when we were in the back seat, no moonroof, and that does help with headroom. Let's talk drive modes. You get to them through the home screen. They are right here. You have normal, sport, snow and ice, and my mode. And my mode is adjusted right here. You can adjust all this stuff right here. It does not have an adjustable suspension, but you do have different motor sounds, normal, sport, or off. That's really interesting. So if you want this thing to emit certain noises, you can. But yeah, this is a really interesting EV in the sense that this is the most normal non-EV like EV I've ever been in. Me personally, I like a lot of the traits that EVs have, but I'm sure I'm not in the majority when I say that. So yeah, I think that's ultimately a really interesting and probably a smart choice. Okay, there you have it, the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV, an Ultium platform EV size compact SUV. It's a lot of interesting stuff here. I'm Robin Warner. Thank you very much for watching.